When Gucci Mane walked out of prison in May 2016, people couldn't believe what they were seeing. The man who went in back in 2014 wasn't the same one who came out. Gone was the bloated, lean belly, and in its place was a six-pack. His face looked slimmer, his skin looked healthier, and even his tweets switched up, from wild, rugged energy to daily inspirational quotes. He chalked it all up to quitting drugs and living clean, but some fans weren't buying it. The changes were so drastic that the internet went crazy with a new conspiracy. Gucci wasn't Gucci anymore. He was a clone.
Smoking pounds of weed and just doing all kind of drugs, and just the whole way I was just handling myself before I went to jail was just so negative. It just, it showed in my body.
The theory got wild fast. Some people said the government, specifically the CIA, cloned him to clean up trap music. Rapper Mac Brazy, who claimed to have shared a mental health floor with Gucci in prison, was one of the loudest voices saying the man walking around now wasn't the real Gucci at all. According to her, the real Gucci was dead, probably killed in prison.
I don't put it past nobody. I'm sure they got the technology to do that, but that's not the real Gucci. That's not the real Gucci. Gucci probably dead. I think they killed him in prison.
The Gucci clone idea spread like wildfire online. It got so big that the CIA actually had to respond, brushing it off by saying they don't waste time on internet rumors. Gucci himself didn't exactly shut things down either. He leaned into it, saying, "I'm hearing that Gucci is a clone." I wouldn't support nor deny those accusations. That playful trolling just added more fuel to the fire. Whether people believe it or not, the theory still hangs around as one of hip-hop's most famous conspiracies. Back in 2012, an anonymous letter popped up on the blog, Hip Hop is Red. Supposedly written by a former music executive, it described a secret meeting in 1991 just outside LA. About 25 to 30 industry insiders were there, and according to the letter, the agenda was simple but dark: push gangster rap to make prison owners rich. The letter claimed that these execs had major investments in private prisons, which made money based on how many inmates they held. The more crime-inspired music kids listened to, the more likely they'd land in prison, and the more money execs and investors would make. Executives were even told they could personally buy stock in these prisons. From that moment, the industry would focus on promoting rap that glorified violence and criminal life. Plenty of artists have added fuel to this theory. Too Short recalled being pushed by exec Barry Weiss to make his raunchiest album, even though he wanted to go positive. Ice Cube, in a 2023 interview with Bill Maher, bluntly said, "The same people who own the labels own the prisons."
Who benefits and profits off our bickering in our division? But if you follow the money, you go high enough, you start to see literally the same people who own the labels own private prison. It seems really kind of suspicious, if you want to say that word.
Dame Dash agreed, saying labels control artists like puppets. Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony also co-signed the idea, pointing out that wealthy black investors own prisons but don't talk about it publicly.
They were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out. In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid twice.
The financial web is real. Investment giants like BlackRock and Vanguard hold shares in both private prison companies and entertainment conglomerates. Killer Mike connected the dots, saying, "Slavery is still legal. There's a need to fill the void of slaves. So I believe damn near any conspiracy that talks about putting poor people in jail." Still, not everyone is convinced. Critics point out that gangster rap already existed before 1991 with acts like NWA and Ice-T, so the genre wasn't invented by a secret meeting. Others argue that if prisons wanted to lock people up, it wouldn't make sense to market rap to suburban white kids, who made up the bulk of its buyers, but weren't the ones filling prisons. And the anonymous whistleblower left so many vague hints about his identity that skeptics doubt the letter's authenticity. But even with all the holes, the theory lingers because the prison system is profitable, and the 13th Amendment does allow slavery as punishment for a crime. In December 2007, Pimp C was found dead in a Los Angeles hotel room. The coroner said it was toxic levels of codeine and oxycodone mixed with his sleep apnea, not an overdose. But to this day, people close to him aren't buying it. In the months before his death, Pimp C was on a mission to expose what he saw as the dirty secrets of the rap game. Through Ozone magazine, he called out undercover gay rappers, alleged snitches like Lil Troy, and criticized Young Jeezy for abandoning BMF. With that kind of outspokenness, people say he might have made powerful enemies.
And I just left the penitentiary, and man, the little time was that with the punk down doing 25 and anything over one digit was stand up guy. You know I'm talking about old punk ass. And while I'm talking about it, there's a whole bunch of you rappers that's in the closet.
The details surrounding his death only raised more suspicion. DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia, who had seen him just days earlier, described the scene as if Pimp C had been shot, lying face down like he was praying, with blood all over the bed. Too Short questioned whether the hotel room door had even been locked, asking, "If the door wasn't locked, that means somebody left out." He also pointed to how often celebrities mysteriously die in hotels.
He said Pimp C was like he was laying down like he was praying, and but it was blood all over the bed, like he threw it up, but they thought he had been shot in the head.
Like, it was the door, did it have that thing on it? Like, tell me something. And the most I could get was, I never got if the door was locked or not. I had to break it down, because if the door wasn't locked, that means somebody left out.
Pimp C's biographer, Julia Murray, added even more weight to the doubts. She said Pimp's own mother believed he was poisoned and that a shady character who was with him that night was suspicious. Murray also noted the big contradiction. The coroner cleared it wasn't an overdose, but the media spun it exactly that way. No official investigation ever dug deeper, leaving family, friends, and fans with endless questions. When Eminem blew up after linking with Dr. Dre in the late 90s, some people weren't convinced it was just raw talent. A theory popped up claiming Eminem was an industry plant, placed in hip-hop by elites to dominate the genre. An industry plant usually refers to an artist who rises unnaturally fast, presents themselves as self-made, but secretly has label backing. On the surface, M's story fits that mold. He came out of nowhere and instantly became a superstar. But anyone who followed him before the Slim Shady LP knows he'd been grinding in Detroit for years, battling and hustling with little money. Dre finding his tape wasn't a plant move, it was a recognition of rare talent. Still, not everyone agrees. Lord Jamar of Brand Nubian argues that Eminem's race was the real machine behind his sales, saying it wasn't about skill, but about marketability.
And at the end of the day, a lot of their success comes from the machine's bias towards their skin color. Don't let your sales fool you, because sales have nothing to do with how good you are. That's just how sellable you are. That's just, you're easy to sell.
50 Cent, on the other hand, defends him, saying, "Hip-hop is black music, no question. But some people just can't accept that a white artist does it better than black artists."
Hip-hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists. It is what it is.
While others say that the truth probably lies in the middle, yes, M's talent was undeniable, but his skin color made him far more sellable to mainstream America. When XXXTentacion was shot and killed in Florida in June 2018, fans immediately tied his death to his rocky history with Drake. Their beef started in 2017 when X accused Drake of stealing his flow from "Look at Me" for Drake's track KMT. X kept pushing the narrative, clowning Drake's fake accents and even dragging his mom into it. Drake never bit back directly, but his circle, including Chicago rapper 600 Breezy, did.
Tell Drake, Mom, I want some tapioca pudding. Hey, tell this Drake, stop speaking patois. You are not Jamaican.
Things took a dark turn when X's Instagram account posted and then deleted a message. If anyone tries to kill me, it was champagne.poppy. I'm snitching right now. He later said it was a hack, but the post became Exhibit A for the conspiracy. After X's death, people picked apart Drake's lyrics and visuals, looking for confessions. In I'm Upset, he rapped, SMS XXX, that's the only time I ever shoot below the neck, which fans connected to X being shot in the neck. On her loss, he dropped, if he held his tongue on that live, he'd be alive again, which many felt was a jab at X's fiery Instagram lives. To make things creepier, Travis Scott's Sicko Mode video featuring Drake had a scene of a figure resembling X getting hit by a meteor. In 2023, during the trial of one of X's alleged killers, the defense actually tried to subpoena Drake, arguing police never even questioned him. Drake's team fought it off, saying he had no connection to the case. Skeptics also countered the theory. X's flow wasn't unique. Lil Uzi Vert had already used a similar cadence in Super Saiyan Trunks, and the Sicko Mode video was directed by Travis Scott, not Drake. At the end of the day, no evidence ever linked Drake to the murder, but the conspiracy lives on. The Illuminati, the supposed shadowy society of elites running the world, has been a go-to conspiracy theory in hip-hop for decades. Fans often claim that certain rappers are members, or just puppets being controlled. The whole idea plays like a modern remix of old-school secret society fears. The first big spark came in 1995, when Prodigy of Mobb Deep dropped the line, "Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body," on LL Cool J's I Shot Ya remix. Tupac also tapped into the idea, pushing back hard against it. While locked up, he said he was killing that Illuminati-ish, and his posthumous album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, cemented that link.
The nigga telling me about this Illuminati jail, right? Like, the dollars, right. That's another way to keep your self-esteem low. That's another way to keep you unconfident. Right. And I'm putting the K because I'm killing that Illuminati.
For theorists, the proof is in the symbols. Jay-Z's Rock Nation hand sign, the diamond/triangle, gets compared to the Eye of Providence. People break down his lyrics like, I never pray to God, I pray to Gotti, as coded messages. Kanye's Power video, Lil Wayne's tattoos, Rihanna and Beyoncé's visuals, all have been dissected as Illuminati imagery. But not everyone buys it. Some rappers have flipped the narrative. Wise Intelligence said the real Illuminati isn't a secret cabal, it's lawmakers and billionaires stripping rights and hoarding wealth. Wu-Tang members like Raekwon and Ghostface were talking about Illuminati 2000 back in '95, worried about microchips, surveillance, and credit card tracking. Others dismissed the theory entirely. Kanye said in 2015, if there was an Illuminati, it'd be energy companies, not musicians who gave their lives to music. Killer Mike pointed out that rappers like Jay-Z and Diddy don't have Warren Buffett or Carlos Slim levels of power, so calling them Illuminati is just hype. Many think artists lean into the imagery for marketing, turning mystery into money.
This Illuminati flight school, you already heard me. He is in Illuminati, I'm in Illuminati.
Yeah, they said, did I sell my soul? Should I just tell them the truth?
Still, the theory sticks because it gives fans a way to talk about power, wealth gaps, and who's really pulling strings. In March 1995, Eazy-E shocked the world. On March 17th, he announced he had AIDS, and by March 26th, just 9 days later, he was gone. The official cause was complications from AIDS, specifically pneumonia, but that lightning-fast decline left fans and friends convinced something else went down. The theory was that Eazy-E was murdered. People close to Eazy said he looked perfectly fine just weeks before. No weight loss, no lesions, none of the usual AIDS symptoms. Bone Thugs and Harmony noticed the same thing, and even his assistant said he seemed normal. To add fuel, his wife Tamika Woods, who was pregnant then, and their child both tested negative for HIV. The most chilling moment came years later in 2003, when Suge Knight went on Jimmy Kimmel Live and casually joked that the best way to kill someone was with a needle filled with blood from someone who had AIDS.
technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it.
Oh,
so
well, that
death
seems
don't happen.
bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An Eazy-E thing, you know what I mean?
Rap pioneer Frost later doubled down, saying Eazy was given tainted acupuncture needles. And there was bad blood. Suge had already used violence to strong-arm Dr. Dre out of Ruthless Records. Eazy reportedly even considered killing Suge, but Jerry Heller, his manager, talked him down, a decision Heller later regretted. Of course, Eazy himself admitted to a promiscuous lifestyle, and HIV.gov points out the virus can lay low before progressing quickly. But with Suge's comments and Eazy's sudden decline, the murder by injection theory refuses to die. Another conspiracy that turned out to be more real than fake is the so-called hip-hop police. This wasn't about tinfoil hats, it was actual law enforcement task forces targeting rappers. Prodigy of Mobb Deep swore he met the captain who started it all, and that the NYPD was openly watching rappers as easy targets. Tony Yayo talked about being tailed daily, him and 50 Cent rolling with multiple police cars behind them. He even remembered one cop nicknamed Superman who would aggressively search people just for being around hip-hop crews.
Hip-hop police used to follow me home, follow 50 home. I done been to clubs and hip-hop police will have 4 or 5 cars. Back then we had Superman. Superman was tall, he looked like Christopher Reeve. He'll grab you right out the car, grab by the waist. He'll see the weed, he'll be like, I don't care about it. Where's the guns?
And it wasn't just word of mouth. The NYPD kept a secret 500-page dossier with mugshots, rap sheets, and incident reports on stars like Jay-Z, Diddy, and 50 Cent. And it spread beyond New York. A 2004 Miami Herald article claimed Miami police were also secretly monitoring rappers, snapping photos of them as they landed at airports. But then, the ACLU and the Hip Hop Summit Action Network threatened lawsuits, saying it violated artists' constitutional rights. Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg even joked about flipping the script, claiming he bribed some of these cops to work for him.
Why y'all follow me? I don't do crimes, I don't do all that. What's going on? Oh man, Snoop Dogg, you know, we really love you, man. We ain't you like that. Man, what's happening? Why don't y'all work for me, man? Look out for it, man. Put a few dollars in y'all pocket.
Whether seen as harassment, surveillance, or corruption, the hip-hop police story showed how far authorities were willing to go to keep tabs on the culture. In 2018, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and their kids took a trip to Uganda. Kanye said he wanted to connect with the land, grab the soil, cook food, and make music. But according to reports, things nearly turned deadly.
We have to go to what is known as Africa. I just need to go and even find out what it's really called and just grab the soil and cook.
Radar Online claimed that during a safari, Kanye insisted on going back to the resort at night. A big mistake. With no safe transport, he hired local guides, and that's when things spiraled. Allegedly, there was an armed standoff. Kanye's security thought the guides were trying to kidnap him, while the locals thought they were being threatened. Guns were flashed, no one backed down, and it dragged on until morning when a plane was finally chartered. Insiders said Kanye was paranoid the whole trip, even thinking Kim or her family sent someone to kill him. He locked down his villa until a private jet flew him out. Later, on God, he rapped, "Bleach my hair every time they thought I could have died," which some fans believe referenced the Uganda scare. Others in his circle seem to hint at it too. Fashion designer Tremaine Emory posted, "I could kiss the effing ground" after landing back in the US. Manager Yes Jules stopped posting to Instagram during the trip and later admitted something did go down, but said the public only knows half the story. Kanye himself has never told the full version, leaving the incident in mystery. When Juice WRLD passed away in December 2019 at just 21, the official cause was an overdose. He had swallowed pills to hide them from police, which led to a fatal seizure. But fans immediately dug up something chilling. A 2017 tweet where Juice said, "My goal is to get overly famous, shine for a couple years, then fake my death." That one post, combined with his music, sparked the theory that Juice didn't die. he staged it. In his song Legends, he rapped, "What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21. He died at 21. In All Girls Are the Same, he compared himself to John Lennon, who was killed on December 8th, the same day Juice died. Fans thought the coincidences were too eerie. Then came more evidence. Some claimed his private jet landed in the Bahamas instead of Chicago. Others said the hospital had no record of him being admitted. His ex, Ali Lottie, went on Instagram ranting that people had no idea what really happened, hinting that the overdose story wasn't the truth.
You guys think he died from a... You're wrong! You're wrong! Literally! You're wrong! So suck... Okay? There's a lot of shit y'all don't know.
Fans even tied him to Tupac's faked death theories. Juice had referenced Pac's Machiavelli alias in his own music, and Pac was famously rumored to have faked his death. The coroner's report gave a clear cause: codeine and oxycodone toxicity. But the cryptic tweets, lyrics, and rumors keep fans speculating that Juice pulled off the ultimate escape plan. When people talk about the hip-hop police and even the CIA being involved, it ties back to a long history of government surveillance and control over black voices. This isn't new. The FBI's old counterintelligence program was designed to spy on, disrupt, and even destroy black political movements. They went after Martin Luther King Jr., sending him an anonymous letter pushing him toward suicide. They kept files on musicians too: Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, Jimi Hendrix, even NWA after dropping F Thaw Police. Tupac, Biggie, and Eazy-E all ended up on their radar as well. And it wasn't just domestic. The US government actually used hip-hop as a weapon overseas. One wild example was that USAID secretly tried to infiltrate Cuba's hip-hop scene to stir up young people against the Castro government. They recruited artists, funded festivals, and tried to plant messages into the music. But it backfired badly. People got detained, festivals were shut down, and artists had to stop performing. They even laundered money through Panama and Liechtenstein banks to hide the operation. This type of stuff makes it easier for people to believe the government is still pulling strings in rap. Add in the fact that companies like BlackRock and Vanguard hold stakes in both music labels and private prisons, and you've got a direct line to the gangster rap fuels prison profits theory. Killer Mike summed it up bluntly: slavery is still legal. There's a need to fill the void of slaves. So, absolutely, I believe damn near any conspiracy that talks about putting poor people in jail, because there's a profit margin to be made for doing it. That Cuban operation proved one thing: the government has used music as a covert tool before, so why wouldn't they do it again? One of the most famous theories in hip-hop is that Diddy had a hand in Tupac's murder back in 1996. LAPD Detective Greg Kading, who led a task force years later, dropped a bombshell in his book Murder Rap and the documentary that followed. His investigation pointed to Orlando Anderson, a Compton Crip, as the trigger man. But the shocking claim came from Anderson's uncle, Keefe D, who said he was in the car that night and that Diddy had allegedly promised them $1 million to take out both Pac and Suge Knight. Keefe D has since been charged, and in his testimony, Diddy's name came up multiple times. One witness even said Diddy's associate, Eric Zip Martin, handed over the gun used that night. The motive was, the East Coast-West Coast beef was peaking, Bad Boy versus Death Row, and it was drenched in gang tension.
Keefe D is now charged with ordering Tupac Shakur's murder. Keefe D told the cops years ago that Combs offered $1 million to anyone willing to kill Tupac Shakur and Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight. The night that Tupac Shakur was killed, a witness testified that Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Sean Combs, gave Keefe D the gun the night that Tupac was shot.
Diddy, of course, has always denied it. He told The Breakfast Club the claims were nonsense, but fans pointed out his shaky body language while denying it.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there.
Even Eminem took a shot in his 2018 diss Kill Shot, saying, "The day you put out a hit is the day Diddy admits that he put out the hit that got Pac killed." He later brushed it off as a joke, but the line stuck. Kading's team also linked Biggie's death to retaliation. They claimed Wardell Poochie Faust, a mob Peru blood, was paid by Suge Knight to kill Biggie in revenge for Pac. It painted the murders as a deadly cycle between the two camps. And now, with Keef D facing charges, Diddy's name is still hanging heavy over the case. Back in 2018, Drake and Pusha T's beef turned nuclear when Pusha dropped the story of Adidon, exposing Drake's secret son. Rumors swirled that Drake had cooked up a devastating response, one so brutal it could have ended careers, including Kanye's. The only reason we never heard it was because rap legend Jay Prince stepped in. Prince said he told Drake to fall back, because the song crossed lines that would ruin families and lives, not just rap careers. He even spoke to Kanye, who apparently said he didn't want the beef escalating either.
You know, my reasons for pulling the plug and having that conversation with him to pull the plug was simply because it crossed the line of music. Do what I know what he was about to do to Kanye, and both of them would have been damaging. You know what I mean? And I spoke with Kanye.
At that point, Kanye called it dead on Twitter, and the tension cooled. But the idea of that unreleased nuclear Drake diss still lingers. Kendrick Lamar's always been seen as the good kid in a mad city, the sharp observer of gang life rather than an active player. But some folks believe his ties run deeper. For one, his family history is wrapped in it. His dad left Chicago to escape violence, but his uncles were Compton Crips. One served 15 years for robbery, another's still inside, and his uncle Tony was killed at a burger stand. Stories Kendrick's woven into his music. Some connect Kendrick more to the Bloods, specifically the West Side Purists, through his long friendships with people like Hidda J3, who even popped up onto Pimp a Butterfly. Hidda J3 has said Kendrick still looks out for the hood, paying for funerals and putting money on books.
Kendrick a real homie though. A lot of don't know that. Kendrick been paid for homies' funerals, put money on homies' books. I'm on his album cover, To Pimp a Butterfly. So yeah, I'm in the front of him.
Then there's the AD incident, where rapper AD recalled Kendrick pressing him, thinking he was part of a rival set.
You wanna know a crazy thing about Kendrick, bro? My first encounter with him, he thought I was somebody else, bro. He low-key tried to press me. I guess some jumped him back in the day, and I came to the studio, and he was mad. He was like, "Hey, you from Almond Block?"
On the flip side, many Compton locals say older heads protected Kendrick. If you were seen as a bright spot, good in school, athletic, or talented, you got pushed away from the corners so you could bring something positive back. Fast forward to today, and Diddy's name is at the center of some of the most shocking accusations in hip-hop history. Starting in 2023, the allegations piled up, leading to a full-blown federal case by 2025. The indictment reads like something out of a mafia drama, forced labor, and a 2-decade pattern of abuse with his employees and entourage helping cover it all up. It started with Cassie Ventura, his longtime girlfriend, filing a lawsuit describing years of violence, control, and exploitation. The case settled in a day, but it cracked the dam. In 2024, CNN dropped hotel footage from 2016 showing Diddy attacking Cassie, forcing him to issue a public apology. From there, things spiraled. By September 2024, he was arrested on multiple federal charges. Lawsuits multiplied. Over 3,000 people came forward with claims ranging from manipulation and drugging to exploitation at his infamous white parties. Even shocking allegations of victims surfaced, made possible by New York laws that let old cases be reopened. Some stories stood out. Cassie claimed Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car in 2012. Cudi's team confirmed it. Other lawsuits accused him of intimidating employees, coercing relationships, and using hidden cameras. Howard University revoked his honorary degree. NYC took back his ceremonial key to the city. His empire started crumbling fast. Diddy, through it all, has denied everything, calling the claims ridiculous or cash grabs. But with his federal racketeering and trial that is currently ongoing, the stakes couldn't be higher. If convicted, he's looking at decades behind bars.